In 2024, many people voted for President Trump because they said that they were outraged by illegal immigration. They said that they believe the illegal immigrants came to this country to take their jobs, to drain resources that were meant for American citizens, and that they brought crime. At political rallies, all these voters stood side by side and held banners that demanded that we have mass deportations. Among these people were regular everyday workers and business owners. So here's the contradiction. While the workers who went to these rallies were blaming immigrants for taking their jobs, the business owners who were going to these rallies, and many of them who voted for Trump, were the ones hiring many of these immigrants. So this begs the question, were the rallies really about patriotism, or were they about protecting profit? Let's talk about this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jesus Torres, and if you like content from a center point of view and that's thought-provoking and well-balanced, please subscribe to my channel so you can be notified of my next video. Let's get started. Who really wants mass deportations? Many working class Americans believe that illegal immigration is the reason why they're unemployed, and they also believe that immigration is the reason why wages are low. At the same time, on the opposing side, we have many of the business owners who were cheering at the rallies and also demanding mass deportations. Now, on the surface, this looks like a picture of unity, but the goals of these two groups are on opposing sides. While the workers are demanding jobs, the employers were the ones that were willingly and knowingly hiring illegal immigrants for cheap labor. Now let's talk about the employers who were demanded mass deportations. A lot of these employers were publicly demanding mass deportations, and they claimed that they wanted to protect American jobs. But behind closed doors, they were actually hiring illegal immigrants, and they knew that they were illegal immigrants because they wanted to reduce labor costs and increase profits. Let's talk about the industries that were hit the hardest when talk about mass deportations began. Agriculture. Farmers lost workers who kept food prices stable and crops from rotting in the fields. Construction. Developers relied on cheap, undocumented labor, and now, as a result, the price of housing will continue to rise. Manufacturing and food processing. Factories and meatpacking plants struggle to fill jobs that Americans didn't want, and now those jobs will be left unoccupied. Service industry jobs. Hotels, restaurants, and landscapers, they quietly depended on undocumented workers for their companies to run and operate. As soon as the talks of mass deportation started, and many of their workers started not showing up to work because they were afraid of being deported, many of these business owners started to go and do interviews where they talked about wanting exceptions for the industries. Once they realized that maybe calling for mass deportations was not a good idea, illegal immigration is more than just people crossing the border illegally. It's about jobs. Many people believe that immigrants just come to America because they just want to live here, but that's not the full picture. The real driving force behind illegal immigration is the job opportunities that American employers create and the higher wages immigrants can get here compared to their home countries. Now, if there were no jobs for undocumented workers, then far fewer immigrants would come here. The real question here is, why do American employers prefer to hire undocumented workers over hiring Americans? The real reason why many American employers hire undocumented workers over American workers is that they can pay less than minimum wage to undocumented workers. They don't have to provide benefits like health insurance. They don't have to pay taxes because many of them pay under the table. And they have more control because undocumented workers, for fear of deportation, will not report labor violations. If we truly want to stop illegal immigration in this country, then we also need to hold employers accountable. We can't just go after immigrants. Now, we already have something called E-Verify, which is designed to ensure that any employee that is hired has the legal right to work in the United States. But many companies choose to ignore it. Now, if we actually implemented and follow the laws against any company that hired undocumented workers, then we'd cut off the incentive for those companies to continue hiring undocumented workers. But here's the problem. Many politicians won't enforce these laws because many of their big donors actually rely on undocumented labor. And these donors, they actually don't want illegal immigration to stop. They actually just don't want to admit that they rely on undocumented labor as their main workforce. I recently read an article on fortune.com which talked about E-Verify and illegal immigration. The article mentioned that E-Verify has been around for about 30 years on a voluntary basis, but that most employers choose to ignore it. And it also mentions that for those 30 years, there's been talks about making E-Verify mandatory, but those talks have failed. Also, the author mentioned how currently the Trump administration has been using mass deportations to try to reduce illegal immigration and the hiring of illegal immigrants, but they are not using a tool that they have available, which is E-Verify, and if they use it, it would help reduce illegal immigration. The same people who are demanding mass deportation are the same people who are also creating the demand for undocumented workers. On one side, they'll wave a flag and they'll chant that they want mass deportations, but on the other side, they'll go and hire undocumented labor. If the people who voted for mass deportations truly wanted to end illegal immigration, they wouldn't just go after immigrants. They would be demanding corporate accountability against the people that hire them. But will this happen? Most likely not, because this wasn't really about patriotism. This was about profits. It's easy for many people to blame undocumented workers for job losses and economic struggles, but in doing so, we're letting employers off the hook who are financially exploiting them for cheap labor. Until this happens, no matter how many mass deportations happen, illegal immigration is not going to stop. Do you think that companies that hire knowingly undocumented workers should be held accountable legally? Or do you agree with the voters who support mass deportations and solely blame the immigrants? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. My name's Jesus Torres, and thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the content today, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It would really help me, and you'll get a notification on the next video I make. Until next time, have a great day.